Will this video go viral? Outlook good. Hello everyone, it's Bearby. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today we are doing tips and tricks for taking product photos for Depop, for Poshmark, or if you're just even a reseller on Instagram. I know a lot of people are selling on Instagram now. Whatever you are, or even if you're just wondering how can I take cute photos of my clothes. I know some people put all of their clothes in inventory into like a little app. Without further ado, let's get started.
There's a rain.
The first thing you want to try to do is define your brand as a seller. So do you have a specific name? Do you have a color scheme? Do you have a theme going on? All of these things are really important because you want people to come onto your Depop, onto your Poshmark and think, oh my goodness, what a cute brand. You want them to think of you as a brand, right? Not just like a person selling clothing out of their closet, which if you do that, totally fine, but this is definitely more geared toward resellers. For example, I am reselling with one of my friends, Lauren, and her social media is Poppy Lore and mine is Bearby. So we kind of combined our social medias and created our brand Poppy Bear right here. And we are just getting started, so the next step for me is taking product photos. But this is not my first time taking product photos. I have had a Depop for years, and I also sold on Instagram in the past, so I'm really excited to use those skills that I already have and implement them into my new brand. So questions you can ask yourself are, what is the name of my brand? What are the colors that are going to represent my brand? What are the decades that I'm going to be selling from? Am I just going to be selling vintage? Am I going to be selling a mixture? Is it going to be just only from the 80s? You need to think about all of these things so that when people come to your page, they know what to expect. And if your brand is like a hodgepodge of things, you have to somehow make a coherent hodgepodge, if that makes any sense at all. So for example, our brand name is Poppy Bear. We chose our colors to be red and pink, and therefore all the backdrops that we're going to be using for our product photos are somewhat in the red-pink color scheme, and we chose a few backdrops with some poppy flowers to go with the poppy theme and some bears to go with the bear theme, so everything is aligning. You also need to decide what your feed is going to look like. Are you going to be a reseller that only takes photos of your products? I know a lot of resellers that don't try anything on at all. They just take measurements and they take pictures of the product, the front, the back, the sides, whatever it is. I know other resellers that only try on the clothes. Not everything I'm selling is my size, so I want to have that freedom as well to just take a picture of the product. Necessities. What do you need to take product photos? Because it is an investment. Personally, I would recommend at least having a ring light that has a very good light. Now you can find ring lights anywhere from, $25 to $100 on Amazon. I would say that I haven't really found a ring light that's like higher quality than other ring lights, so just get a ring light. It doesn't really matter. I'll link a few that I like or that I've used in the past. And I think that also getting some box lights is extremely helpful. I got mine from Amazon as well. I believe they were in the $70, $85 range. I'm not sure how much they are now. I've had them for a few years and they've worked great. I use them for product photos, I use them for auditions, for several different things. So I think that investing in some box lights, if you can, is extremely helpful and will definitely help your products look more professional. I feel like this is pretty obvious, but you do need a tripod to hold your phone. I really don't think you need a fancy camera to take your product photos, unless of course, let's say that your aesthetic is 70s and you want all of your photos to have this like grainy or like specific look, and you have this really cool film camera that you want to take all your product photos on, then that's a different story, right? So think about your brand, think about what your brand needs. But I think for the most part, using an iPhone is the greatest thing you can do because people are going to be looking at these photos on their iPhone, right? So they're not going to be expecting, movie screen quality for these photos. They just want to see what the product looks like and if it's cute. You're also going to need some things to take care of the clothes that you got. So I would recommend keeping a steamer on hand, keeping a lint roller on hand, and keeping an iron and an ironing board. And these are just things that you need in general as a reseller if you want to get good reviews and if you don't want people saying, oh, the clothes are wrinkly. So you want your products to look nice. So if you're in the middle of a product shoot and you're taking photos, make sure you have those things on hand. That way you can take a quick pause, put a quick iron on something, a quick press, and continue taking your photos. The next thing I would say you need is either one of those little remote controls that you can press and it takes the photos for you, or using one of those apps I think it's called like Lens something, I don't know, I'll put it right here, but there's an app that I have used for Depop before that you can set it to, oh, I want to take 25 photos in a row, and it'll just ding 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 ding. I just spent like 20 minutes looking for mine so that I could show you guys, but also I needed it anyway, so I'm glad I found it. But this is the little thing. You can get these from Amazon for super cheap, and it just makes taking the photos really easy and really quick, so highly recommend this. Let's talk about taking your photos. You want to make sure if you are trying on the clothing that you're posing with confidence. I would suggest going to Pinterest for some pose inspiration, or also going to Depop. I think the main thing here with trying on the clothing is you want the clothing to be the highlight, obviously not yourself. So you don't want yourself making some crazy expression, and most of the time you don't even really want your face in it. You just mainly want the product in it to be showcasing whatever you're selling. When you are taking product photos, you're the director, you're the talent, you're the editor, you're doing all of these things, which is one of the hard things about starting a small business. So just remember to keep all of the details in the back of your mind and take your time. I'm just being honest with you, you need to be able to commit the time. If you're not ready to commit the time to this, then it might not be ready. If you're just trying to sell a few things in your closet, different story. But if you're really committed to being a reseller, part-time or full-time, then you really need to take your time with this and make sure that you get quality over quantity, right? Also, you want to find your swing, you want to find your routine, right? So do you want to be measuring your clothing and then taking the photo, and measuring and then taking the photo, or do you want to take all of the photos, then do all of the measuring, then do all of the editing? I personally like to take it one step at a time, so I'll take all of my photos at once, I'll measure them all, I'll pick a time to do that, I'll pick a time to edit all of them, and then I will pick a time to do all of the captions and all of that. I think that helps me compartmentalize, but like I said, everyone is different. You don't have to do any of this the way I'm doing it. This is genuinely suggestion. Editing your photos, the fun part, because you're almost done. Editing means you are close to being able to post your products, right? You're almost there, you guys. It's the stretch mark. It's the final lap. Here's what you're gonna do. Most of the time, I recommend removing the background unless you have a, backdrop that you take all of your photos in front of. When I'm editing my photos and removing the background on my iPhone, I use the Eraser app. I can also link it below if you guys are interested, but it's only $10 for the year, which is, I feel like, really affordable. And all that I really need to be able to do for my photos is remove the background and put a different background behind myself, which I'm able to do on this app. There are a lot of really expensive apps that are just like so overpriced, and like, sure, maybe they're like a little bit higher quality, but I just think that apps are getting ridiculously expensive nowadays. So when I found this one for $10 a year, I was like, hell yeah. Here are some final thoughts for you guys. Believe in your brand. The fact that you're watching this video right now just shows that you care about your brand, about your business, even just a little bit. So pat yourself on the back for taking it this far, and only continue. It's only up from here. You just need to keep believing, keep manifesting, and keep putting that work in. Number two, I think, like I said, it's really important to pick a day or allot time to commit to this. Make sure you put it in your calendar, write it down on your to-do list, commit time to doing this, because like I said, it is an endeavor and it is gonna take you a lot of time to do it. All right, my fellow bears, that is it for the video today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're a reseller and you have any other tips that you would like to add, please put them in the comments below. And if you're just getting started on your journey, make sure to comment any other questions you have for me. I would love to help out. I will see you guys next Friday. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, magical weekend. And make sure, if you haven't already, to like, comment, subscribe. I'm a very small channel. Anything you can do to help me out will bring a big smile to my face. So thank you so much to those of you that do watch and comment. I so appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one.